times. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by my former colleague in admissions and good friend, Dawn Hall. She's one of our associate directors of admissions at Baylor. Dawn, welcome.
Thank you. So fun. I love that you're doing these. I think it's great.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I can't even imagine how busy you guys are right now, given everything that you're doing for the freshman class. But Dawn, before we kick off with a couple of questions for our constituents all over the country, could you share a little bit about yourself, your story, who you are, and introduce yourself and what you do for Baylor?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dawn Hall, one of the associate directors in undergraduate admissions, like you said, and I'm actually from Waco, so I grew up in Waco. And after college, kind of worked in human resources, and then had a friend who worked in undergraduate admissions, which recruited me over. And my first job was working with current students, which I loved because students really are the heart of Baylor for sure. And that was my draw. And just thinking about how to prepare them for the real world and hearing about all the latest things, because I was, several years out of college. So I really like that part. And then, of course, just loved admissions and all the parents and families I came in contact with, and just getting to talk to them about why Baylor. So I've been there about 9 years, and at this point help oversee the freshman and transfer domestic team, just recruiting, talking to families, and it's very fast paced. There's always, you're never bored, but I really do think that the work we do matters. It changes lives. It's a big decision to try to figure out where you want to go to school, and it's a lifetime impact. So I understand that where you end up going will affect your life for the rest of your life, and that's no small thing. So I like the value that I feel like this work brings.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And if any of you are lucky enough to be Facebook friends with Dawn, two very cute little girls on Facebook. I've seen lots of good pictures and all kind of stuff. So
that's
great.
true. I am a mom too. And
right.
they're fun. I do feel like I love talking to parents because of seniors, because they are always telling us it goes so fast. I mean, the thing that they always say, no matter what is happening, they just say, the years go so fast. And that just helps me when my 4-year-old is having her third breakdown of the day, right. That I just say, it goes fast. Remember that.
I know how that goes, for sure. Well, Dawn, you said that you kind of manage our freshman counseling team. I wanted to ask this question. I'll ask it two ways. What does their role and your role generally look like recruiting for the institution? Maybe, pre-pandemic, and then what does your daily lives look like now?
Right. Yeah. I mean, pre-pandemic, we had a lot of plans. It looks like a lot of high school visits, a lot of in-person, either individual visits with students and families or group events in their area. Also, obviously, a lot of on-campus visits. We had a huge spring premiere event planned with thousands of students signed up. We were so excited to welcome everyone to campus. And of course, that didn't happen. But it really does, the bottom line of it is communicating with students and parents. And mostly we do, because we really try to be as personal as possible. We try to do that in person, and whether that is at their high school, at a fair, at an event we have, but then of course, just communicating with them, calling them, emails, things like that. So we had a lot of great events planned that we were so excited, especially we've started doing this thing where we meet with students who've been accepted to have dinner with them. So we have a lot of fun dinners planned at a lot of great restaurants. So I was really bummed because there were a lot of great restaurants I was so excited to go to. And of course, that all got canceled. So after pandemic, of course, we transitioned to being at home and working remotely, a lot of virtual appointments now. A lot of counselors have virtual appointments individually, and then also group. They've really been trying to figure out ways to help their students meet other students from that area. So a lot of Zoom meetups they've been sending them really cute things in the mail, like, sorry, this semester, like Sour Patch Kids, sorry, this semester has been a little bit sour, but we hope that, you know, you're excited for the fall at Baylor, things like that. But it's been interesting to me. We have such a resilient team. Most of them graduated from Baylor. So they not only have so much pride in Baylor as an alum, but of course working for Baylor, that they quickly transitioned and said, whatever we can do. And so we always joke that they don't always like getting on the phone to call, but they've made more calls than ever before. And like I said, we really didn't have to do that much virtual recruitment. And that's been a new thing. And a lot of schools are doing that, but I think the way that Baylor makes it so personable, I mean, we've had everyone from the College of Arts and Science jump in to financial aid, and the admissions counselors have been managing all of that. So we're just trying to make sure to answer the students' questions during this time. I know they really want concrete answers. Everything's been up in the air for them for this whole semester. The summer, a lot of things got canceled. And so they just want to know, what is the fall going to look like? And so we've really just said, we've got to make smart, quick decisions so that we can give them the answers so that they can have something concrete to look forward to. But, you know, that's a lot. It's a lot.
No, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Just some general things, so folks out there who maybe they don't understand. So we have admissions counselors who recruit not only in Texas, certain areas, but y'all kind of break up the country even in geographic areas to do that, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. We, a few years back, started to have regional counselors. And so in some of the main out-of-state areas, California, Colorado, Illinois, and California is so big, we have one in the southern part and the northern part. And those regional assistant directors, they're incredible. And they are there because we have so many great students that come from that area. And so that has been so helpful as far as being more present in those areas and really connecting with so many students and families. But we keep looking because there's so many great areas. I know the area you're in, there's so many great students and parents. And of course, we have our coordinators who have those out-of-state territories. So they travel there, but they don't get to be there permanently. So that's something that we're always looking to see, what's the next area that we could maybe put someone there, because especially I would say in the South, in those southern states, they're growing for us. There's a lot of interest, and so you never know what the future holds. But
no, for
the
sure.
Regional assistant directors have been instrumental as far as the relationships they've built. I know they work with a lot of alum in the area. And so that's been very helpful in growing, you know, just even our presence outside of Texas, because we're really not a regional school. We are really growing our out-of-state population, and excited for just being a school that not just has so many students come from all over the US, but globally as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. And, you know, whenever I'm connecting with constituents, y'all have a great website that you can actually see who their specific admissions counselor is. And I certainly bring that up with folks, and that's great. You know, you kind of touched on this, how you're trying to solidify things for this upcoming fall. And so, you know, for us alumni and maybe parents and interested people, what does the fall class, the freshman class look like this upcoming year?
Sure. I mean, obviously there's pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, but
Right.
the truth is, I don't want to sound too cheesy, but this is really how I feel. I truly feel like we get the best and the brightest. I feel like we get students who really care about their character outside the classroom. And so I feel like in these uncertain times, it's only solidified that they want to be at a place like Baylor, who has showed so much care and concern during this time. I keep hearing from current Baylor parents and prospective Baylor parents that Baylor has done a great job of reaching out and showing how much they care, and keeping them informed along the way. And so I think that's really helped. So of course, I think with so much uncertainty, students are still trying to figure out, Do I want to leave home, especially the out-of-state students? Do I want to go that far away? What does the fall look like for us now? What changes do we need to make as a family? But for the most part, the class is a really solid class made up of very bright, um, really high achieving students who are excited to get to have their college experience, get on campus and do all the great Baylor traditions. But certainly we're numbers wise a little bit behind where we would like to be. But considering everything that's happening and the fact that we did change our deposit deadline from May 1st to June 1st, just to give those families a little extra time to figure out, what they need to do. I think it's going to be an incredible freshman class, and I'm super excited to see that yellow line run out. I mean, I don't even know if that's going to happen, but in my mind, that's like one of my favorite.
I think it'll happen.
Yeah, I know.
We hope.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's great. Y'all really do great work. I've gotten to see that firsthand and from my role for a number of years now. So, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and it kind of leads into two, but I want to know, how can us as alumni and other parents of current students, grandparents of current students, people who just like Baylor, how can we support Baylor admissions during this time, especially coming up into this year, next year? Baylor admissions made some news recently where I saw that we're going test optional for next year. So really, how can we help you guys in your mission to recruit the best and brightest to Baylor?
Oh, well, so many current parents and just parents in general, and also alumni, they do a lot. And I have to just say thank you, because it's everything from praying for the students and the prospective students to helping recruit at an event, or just the recruiting that I almost feel like alum and parents do all the time. I feel like I hear so many great students because of the recruitment they do in their neighborhoods, at their workplaces, with their friends, at their churches, telling them about how Baylor served them. Honestly, that does so much for our school, the network that they get, the community that they get. But practically, that can always, we've done a lot of great initiatives since this pandemic. So practical ways that have helped our current parents have helped call prospective parents and have great conversations with them, just sort of assuring them of what Baylor is and what it's been for them. We've had alum are signing up to write postcards to students, and that's huge. Getting something in the mail right now, every day I check the mail, and I just love, my daughter's preschool teacher has been writing to her, and it makes her day, it makes my day. So It seems small, but those conversations or postcards or different things that if anybody ever wants to jump in and help us, we will find a way, because it makes a huge difference, because it's someone's genuine story that is going to connect with people the most. This is my job, but an alum or parent's genuine story about how Baylor impacted them impacts the prospective students and families the most.
No, that's awesome. And thanks for sharing some of those ways. Certainly in our communication, as we send this video out, we'll make sure people have your contact information. But I imagine people can, if they are interested, if they're watching this, can email you, Dawn, DAWN _HALL @Baylor.edu, and you can get them hooked up. There's certainly a lot of folks all around the country.
Yeah, we would love it. Because we just can't get to every area either. Like I said, there's so many great places we want a presence in that don't really know as much about Baylor, and we understand that, but then they learn about it. I hear from students all the time who are like, I wish I would have known earlier in the fall more about Baylor. So anytime somebody's willing to help talk about Baylor, we are so grateful, and we will take that for sure.
No, that's awesome. And, you mentioned early on, something I always tell people is just wear Baylor stuff, right? Here in my little town outside of Atlanta, I wear Baylor stuff all the time, and everyone in this little town knows Baylor now because I'm constantly wearing it around. And our Baylor Parents Network released the Baylor Family Shirts, where all the proceeds from that shirt, it's like $25, actually goes to the President's Excellence Fund to help with COVID-19 relief for students. So that's a really neat option if you don't have a Baylor shirt. But that's great. And we want to be able to continue to serve you. I have one last question for you, but before I ask the final question, you said before we started the call that you've picked up some baking during this time at home. What's the most recent or best thing you've picked up? But you said you didn't do a lot of that before. So what have you made?
I really didn't. I mean, I don't cook that much and I don't bake ever, but I did make a strawberry shortcake bread
Okay.
and made that whole dessert. So from scratch, I mean, just normally I would find a box or buy a pre-made
Right.
pound
Right.
cake, and it was good. I have to
Wow.
say, I
That's
have to
awesome.
say, I even made the whipped cream from scratch. It's not that hard. So
Okay.
anybody who
No, that's
bakes a
pretty
lot, they're
impressive.
like, sure, you did that. It's easy. But honestly, I was super impressed with myself. So yeah,
That is
it,
impressive.
I do feel like this is giving me, sometimes I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore because of all of these random things that I've been doing, but my family has benefited, that's for sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, the last question I've been asked on these calls is, Baylor's obviously a unique place, an intentionally Christian school where, we want to be an academically excellent school, but we also
Yeah.
care deeply about people and faith. And so, Don, how can we be praying for you in particular, and then also for Baylor admissions going forward?
It's so nice. I do love working for a Christian university. It's been wonderful, especially during these times, to be able to extend that to other people. So thank you for asking that. And honestly, I would just ask that we pray for this senior class, this, rising freshman class. They've had to go through a lot. I feel like our current students, they've had to go through a lot as well, but they know what Baylor's like. They know what they're coming back to. There's a little bit more of a solidarity there, but the freshman class, this is all new to them, and their whole entire senior year has been disrupted and changed, and there's so many milestones they haven't been able to celebrate. And there are a lot of things in the fall. I mean, I don't know what everything's going to look like. I'm so excited we're coming back to campus, but what that will all look like, we don't know exactly. So I think just praying for that class and is huge. I think that's the thing. And for me, I think that we would just continue to make smart, wise decisions, that we would really be able to be grounded in our faith as we go through, and just be quick, but also just really wise and thoughtful. And I think that's how it's been going, but I will always take prayers for more wisdom and a deeper faith, that, we're really just letting the Lord lead us through all of this,
No,
because what else is there?
right. No, absolutely. That's exactly right. And I'll ask the same things for me for sure. So, going forward, if anybody's interested in Baylor as a student or interested in Baylor admissions, go to baylor.edu/admissions and see all of those things that are available and opportunities. I also know that my former colleagues over at the Visitor Center would be so frustrated if I didn't mention we can virtually visit right now the
Yes.
institution. So check that out, baylor.edu/visit. And then any of the social media, it's still Be a Baylor Bear, right? On
Yes,
social media.
that's right. And they have been doing so many cool things. It's so fun to follow and just see all that's happening. I feel the Baylor social media is really great, and the Be a Baylor Bear as well. So it's just fun. It'll just encourage you.
I love it. I love it. Well, Dawn, thank you so much for taking the time today. And I hope you have
Thank
a nice
you.
rest of your day and bake something good this afternoon, okay?
Yes. Okay. Maybe
All
chocolate
right.
chip cookies. I don't know.
That
We'll
sounds
see.
good. That sounds good. Well, thank you again. Thank y'all for
Thank
watching,
you.
and we'll be back. Thanks so much.